Kyle Larson had another rough night at the Wild West Shootout, and it comes just after probably an extremely tough night at the Chili Bowl Nationals that saw him DNF out of the A main preliminary, putting him way back in the soup for Saturday night, pretty much ending his chances for the Dirt Double. And he struggled again mightily here tonight at the Wild West Shootout. Had a poor qualifying, and that put him back in his heat race, where he ended up finishing last in his heat race, not qualifying for the A main. He had to go to a B main race his way in, but he eventually did salvage the night for a fifth place finish. So he was the hard charger. He went from 22nd to 5th in the A main. He definitely had a hot rod. So while he might have had a bad night, it does look like he will be a threat coming up into the weekend here on Saturday and Sunday night. So let's get to this here. But before we get to that, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. So this is the heat race here. This is on the last lap. He gets into it here with this number 2 car. I think his name is Davis. They were racing for around seventh place on the last lap. So here is the quick little replay that Flow Racing provided us following the race. You can see the cars are already kind of tied together there. Unclear exactly who is at fault. It's hard to tell if Larson was just being overly aggressive, trying to get under there, if the 2 was blocking him on purpose and came down on him. It was really hard to tell from the replay, but this is kind of where it starts. So let's just take a look. I will back it up 10 seconds just so you can see this is where it starts. So we'll go back 10 seconds. We'll play it here. You can see obviously they already finished the heat race. And this is the replay after they did the winner interview. So here's the replay. They're already together, so we kind of already missed what was going on, and they just kind of spin each other around there, and it would really set Larson back for the rest of the evening. He would obviously start towards the rear end of the B main feature that he would be in, but he had a hot rod. He would actually go to a backup car for the B main, and he would race from the rear of the field to finish in third. Here is the finish of that B main race here. You can see Larson up there coming out of turn 4 in third place. He's behind Laney and Chase Younghands. Let's take a look at how he finishes up this B main feature. So there you go. He had a very fast car. They were reporting that he was running 0.6 faster than anyone else in that B main at the end of the race. So that backup car was looking really, really good. And he proved it as he went, as I said earlier, from 22nd to 5th in the A main. Bobby Pierce went on to win the race. He started on the pole. I think BJ Robinson led a couple laps early, but then Pierce decided to take control, and it was very similar to what we saw Wednesday night with Garrett Alberson trying to track down Bobby Pierce, but he just didn't have anything for him. I would say Bobby Pierce was even more dominant today. We didn't even have to see Pierce using the chrome horn. Alberson really didn't challenge him. He was just kind of stalking him about 0.5 of a second behind Pierce, almost the half of the race. Even with 2 couple late restarts, Alberson really didn't have anything for him. But I do think those late restarts really helped Larson, allowed him to get through a couple cars that maybe had been blocking his path, running side by side, wasn't able to maybe thread the needle or anything like that. So he's able to get around them with those cautions, because he went from 22nd to 5th, as I said. But let's take a look at this here. You can see how he finishes up the race in 5th. So there's Pierce and Alberson. Pierce really not threatened there. And then you see Cade Dillard edges out. Shannon Babb, and then Kyle Larson comes home in 5th. Mike Marlar ended up 6th, and then Bishop, first race of the season, ended up in 7th. So it was a pretty exciting race, especially towards the beginning where you saw Robinson kind of shoot out there. We've seen Pierce kind of fade really early on in these races. He started on the front row, I think, every single race during the Wild West Shootout, but he usually comes on later on. I think this time he actually chose a softer tire, so he's ready to go early this time. So he did indeed reclaim that top spot very early on. I think it was like lap 3. he got right back around BJ Robinson. And then Robinson had massive troubles, started chasing the car, went up over the cushion, did some significant damage to it, and then was really just kind of trying to chase that car the rest of the night. So I don't know if something broke on the car or what happened, but he faded very fast, very quickly once he made that one mistake. But other than that, it would have been, I think, a lot more interesting if we got to see Larson kind of really racing through the pack. They focused a lot on Bobby Pierce and Garrett Albertson at the front, as they should, but I would have liked to have seen the split screen a little bit more from Flow Racing to see Larson kind of work his way through the field, especially that he's got a car, that he's going to be able to do that. You saw him running 6/10 of a lap, 6/10 faster than anyone in that B main, so I would have liked to have seen a little bit of that split screen so we could actually watch his excellence, his driving excellence at work. He is one of the best drivers out there, no matter what he drives, and it's just a joy to watch him. And so I do think it's a little bit of a shame that we didn't get to see more of that double screen with Larson as well as with Pierce and Albertson up front. But so Larson has had a rough couple nights at the Wild West Shootout, at the Chili Bowl, and then again at the Wild West Shootout. Hopefully he's got something turned around here in this backup car at the Wild West Shootout. We saw the speed in that car. Let's hope he gets through the qualifying, does a good qualifying tomorrow and Sunday, has a good heat race, and he's up there and can really maybe challenge Bobby Pierce for that win, give him a run for his money. Love to see someone really try and push Pierce to the limits. We want to see these guys at their best. What is the phrase? Iron sharpens iron. We want to see that. We want to see these guys giving us this race. But that's kind of my thoughts on what are we at? Night 4 for the Wild West Shootout. Bobby Pierce has an opportunity to bring home some money. He can bring home $25,000 if he wins tomorrow night. He can bring home an extra $100,000 if he wins both tomorrow night as well as Sunday. So all eyes are going to be on Bobby Pierce and whether or not he can bring home that extra paycheck. But let me know what you guys thought about night 4 at the Wild West Shootout. You've heard my thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below.